Hey, this is Judge Fowler with Best Buy Blinds in Charleston, South Carolina. When you choose to get plantation shutters, there's lots of different options. One of the options that you'll need to decide upon is louver size. And so if we look at varying louver sizes, this on the left is a 2.5-inch louver, the middle is a 3.5, and on the right is a 4.5. There are some other companies that offer 3-inch, which we can provide, or some I've seen them in 2 5/8, but basically 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5, and then for a plantation shutter. It's also colonial style shutters, which are 1.25 and sometimes 1 7/8. But for the most part, plantation shutters, we're talking about 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch, and 4.5-inch. And basically, it comes down to preference for the most part. Although, if you're doing the large louvers in particular, you may need to make sure there's depth in the window jamb in order to do the larger louvers. But if you look here, like a 2.5-inch and the small shutter has 7 louvers. The 3.5-inch has 5 louvers, and the 4.5 in this case has 4 louvers. So in each one, you can see that the 4.5-inch you can see better through than the 3.5 or the 2.5. The 2.5 is a more traditional look. We do that mainly in downtown Charleston or downtown Somerville. We also do it in small cottages. Typically, smaller windows look better with a 2.5-inch smaller louver. 3.5-inch is by far the most popular that we do. And then 4.5-inch is typically very large windows, but it can be done on average size windows too and look quite nice. It really comes down to the compromise on whether you have enough depth and how well you want to be able to see through the louvers. You'll notice on the 2.5-inch has a tilt rod in the front. That could be done on either of the other two as well. Those have, the 3.5 and the 4.5 have hidden tilt rods. You can see that rod in the back there, which allows you to move the louver. You move one louver and all of them move. So that's pretty much the kinds of things. What we would do is come out to your house and we would put each of these louvers up in the window and get a feel for which style you prefer. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.